Stokes Croft, Bristol, a breeding ground for rebellion and creativity, and home to one of the UK's leading underground music and nightlife scenes. Emerging from sound system culture introduced by the city's Caribbean communities, and taking influence from reggae and dub, Bristol's unique music scene evolved through Massive Attack and the trip-hop of the 90s to the jungle and bass music we hear today. Home to many of Bristol's legendary clubs, Stokes Croft is an epicenter for the city's innovative sound. The graffiti and street art that coats its walls, a reflection of this vivid underground scene. Experiencing closure for over a year, nightclubs have been one of the hardest hit industries during the COVID-19 pandemic, with 51% of club staff made redundant since 2020. As promise of reopening looms, DJs, club owners and partygoers wonder, will the beating heart of Bristol find its rhythm again?
Come down to Bristol today to launch SOS Bristol. Because obviously like, you guys are like such an important part of our music culture, and you know we've really got to look after the Bristol scene. Like no one actually really understands like how much is on the line. We're going to lose so many venues, so much talent. You know we've got to protect the grassroots. There's got to be somewhere for artists to go and start their career. So that's the worry, and you know. The government have not been helpful at all. They've not engaged really much at all. They gave some money to the venues. That's really just gone straight to the private landlords to pay for their rent. So it's not actually no help's going to the people in the industry. The musicians through the gaps getting like help. So it's not good. Imagine without income for 8 months and no help from the government, and you're a musician who's giving your life to the most beautiful thing in the world. Sad.
When I think of Stokes Croft, I think of Turbo Island.
Turbo Island is like this little part that's on Stokes Croft that's almost iconic to Stokes Croft, because after a night out, everyone ends up there. There'll be homeless people there, there'll be students there, there'll be older people there. And I think it's quite a nice little thing that people just come together to have a chat at the end of the night. Because of the amount of music that has come out of Bristol in Stokes Croft and St Paul's, it's almost like inevitable for the music to be one of the main factors for the reason why people come here as a party scene, because there is so much music that comes out of this one specific area. I think it would almost be wrong for there to not be places where people could outlet themselves.
In the sort of mid-90s, it was known as a trip-hop city, I suppose, when Massive Attack came to prominence in Portishead. And then in the mid to late 90s, I think it was known as a house venue. Lakota was a beacon for nationally. You know, people would come from London, from Wales, from Birmingham, would filter to that club. So my name's Mark. I'm the owner of Basement 45, which is a nightclub in Bristol. It's the oldest nightclub in the UK. It's been running continuously since 1961. The pandemic has obviously had a very big impact on us as a business, because you know nightclubs are probably they'll be the first place to close and the last place to reopen. I didn't really feel until we got to the end of last year that we knew we would be okay.
My name is Jakan. I study in Bristol and I currently run a label called Exodus Records.
I'm Pac, and yeah, just started a label with Jakan. I really like the social aspect of DJing, finding people who like similar music.
I think that the lockdown has probably personally actually negatively affected my creativity.
Yeah, I do feel that nightlife is very much the last thing on the books for the government.
With the loss of places like Blue Mountain, you know, there's not many small underground places left, so I think that's why we at Basement 45 are particularly important.
My name is Salman Kalaycı. I'm running Rita's Tekebe last few years. I've been living in this area like 5-6 years, maybe a bit more. And I'm happy to be part of Stokes Croft. The people living here It's from everywhere to the world. Like you can see the other part of the world on the Stokes Croft. Our business is the part of late night in the area because Stokes Croft is a entertainment street. There is so much pubs, bars, so much late night businesses here, and people goes to the bars, goes to the clubs, and then when they pop down out, comes here for the chips, comes here for the burgers, kebabs, any kind of food. It's like the part of the Stokes Croft, the even heart of the Stokes Croft, the retail takeaway. Pandemic was quite deeply affected us because we are a late night takeaway. When everything's shut down, so our business has been affected very badly. Financially, we lose quite a lot of customers. Yeah.
Just sort of eating up everything and taking it all away, which is really sad. And like it's so difficult, not just for the actual clubs, but for the events people that are trying to organise it and book things, and like DJs who are up and coming, like it's difficult for them to get bookings. Like it's just really difficult for everyone at the moment.
Obviously, rest in peace, Blue Mountain. God rest. God rest. Just because it's just another example of a club that's just kind of been ripped away through people not being able to afford the rent because student housing is getting chucked in there and we're getting the music taken away from us. One thing that like massively stays with me is people's social abilities may not be the same. After a year and a half, a year or so of not being able to socially interact with people in the same way that people were, I feel like a lot of people would have lost their social skills.
The takeaway business is maybe the small part of the economy. It's been forgotten, but at the same time, the government give us a carry-on to run the business, not to close it down. But they forgot one thing, the takeaways work with the people on the street. So people needs to move, then come to the takeaways to have a food. Otherwise, silence, no people on the street, still takeaways is not going to make business. And then from the government's funds, we didn't really get good helps or enough helps for ourselves because they mainly focus on the bigger businesses, shopping centers or the chain companies. We are little local takeaways on the corner shop, so nobody really care about us, I believe it. Yeah.
Be amazed if we do open June the 21st. I almost won't believe that we'll be open again, but I'm optimistic that we will be.
I feel a lot of people are really wanting to dance again and just meet up with their friends, go out on a night out with their mates. So yeah, I do really feel quite hopeful. I know all my friends are buzzing. I'm buzzing. Hopefully you guys are as well.
I love music. When I hear good music that I love, I can't stand still, I have to dance. It's one thing that just I think is so beautiful because it brings people together. You can build friendships with people you've never met before and socialise with people you've never met before and create this almost love for one scene.
Yeah, the amount of friends that I've made from nights out that I go and link now anyways, do you know what I mean? Even without
I wouldn't be friends with you if it wasn't for nights out.
Exactly.
Literally, I wouldn't be friends with Annabelle here. Yeah.
Everyone get in the camera, everyone get behind the camera. We've got a street party going on right here. Out to everyone that's come out today. It's been absolutely mad.